Mailbag time again, bunch of stuff in here. These might be review items in these, I'm not quite sure. I know I got contacted by a couple of companies recently, wanting me to review some stuff, so I don't know if these are those or whether they're still coming, but anyway, we'll find out. As usual, there'll be links down below if I can give you links for things. Some little switches. I've purchased some of these before. I did show these in a previous mailbag, probably about a month ago now. Sideways mounted switches. So PCB mount. And I've got these to repair certain pieces of equipment which have these switches in, which do get damaged because they do get wet sometimes. Not supposed to, but they do. These switches fit in that equipment, so I got some more because I bought 10 last time. I thought I'll get 10 more. That should probably do me forever, so I don't have to worry about getting any more in the future. Suction cup. Ah, great. This might be exactly what I'm looking for actually. That looks very similar. Okay, so over here I've got a dash cam which I've been trying to fix up. The mount deteriorated, as always. The rubber suction cup disappeared. I've been trying to repair it in some other way. When I was trying to find suction cups to replace it with, I found this base, which looks remarkably similar to this base. This one will be when I put it back together again. You see they look the same, so that's perfect. It's even got the same mounting on here. Now this one he actually ended up getting glued on because it was wobbling around and falling off. I think. No, I didn't. There we go. It's got that different. It's got a slightly different base on it, slightly different mounting, but that is changeable. But that's just a little attachment which slots in. That slot there is made for something else, but the actual bracketry looks exactly the same. So let's swap this piece out, and that should then be this dash cam fixed. How's that? A quick repair on top of the mailbag, eh? Which way does it go? Goes yeah, that way. Go there. I'll take that one off. I don't know. Anyway, we go that way around. Hopefully it fits. I think it will. Perfect. All repaired. Brilliant. Mrs. Defpom will be happy. This is your point to say, well done, dear.
It's about downtime.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. Not sure I like the vibration part of it. So this is a power supply, power delivery input, or input 12 volts to 28 volts with a USB-C and Type A output with a little display on it. Now I've got some other ones previously which are like this sort of thing, 12 volt input, or you know, thereabouts. It's a voltage input in there, and power delivery outputs, right, USB-C and USB-A, got two of those. These I think are rated at 3 amps. In theory I actually want to load test these, but I haven't got the equipment set up yet. I need to try and figure out a way of setting those up so I can actually load test them. Then I saw this one, I thought this one looks interesting. I don't know if this was rated at higher power or not. This is mostly 100 watts max on the USB-C. So 36 watts max on the USB-A, which means that's probably 3 amps only. And what's that, 5 amps potentially? Potentially 5 amps? So that's what I was looking for, is a USB-C, potentially 5 amps. Now this is for the Raspberry Pi, because I have a 12 volt supply coming in currently, my existing Raspberry Pi setup, for the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, which is inside a case which has got a 2.5 inch SSD in it. Starts SSD, and the case takes a 12 volt, well it's actually a 5 volt input, but I've got it converted down. But I can bypass that converter and get straight 12 volts straight in. I was hoping to use this for that potential 5 volt, 5 amp output for the Raspberry Pi 5, which is what it specifies as 5 amps. I've measured it and it's only doing like 1.5 amps. It's not actually drawing anywhere near that. Obviously it's allowing for USB port loads and stuff like that, but I've only got a keyboard and mouse plugged in, and that is it. There's nothing else going to be plugged into it. I may even do a wireless keyboard and mouse. That's something I've been thinking about doing. I need to load test this as well. I need to figure out how I can load test this. So I kind of need a USB-C cable which I can hook up to my electronic load and load test these things and see how they go. But this has got a display on it. We've got another 12 volt power supply here. I did have one, I put it away like 10 minutes ago. That's annoying. So I've plugged this in. There you go. So it's giving a voltage. I wonder how it changes modes. Current C, current A. So I guess that means the USB-C port current and USB-A port current. We'll need to figure something out for that. But yeah, okay, it's got a display, tells you voltage, which is nice. It's a nice confirmation of what's going on. Rattling thing that needs sorting out. I'll have to put it apart and have a look at it a bit more detail later on. Some more of these. These are exactly the same as the first one. I purchased them a couple of different sources, as tends to be the case, because sometimes the pictures don't quite reflect what you're actually getting, and so I buy them from different places. So these are exactly the same again as the first one I showed, which is now on the dash cam. We have some spares. We've got 2 spares to go with that one. Look at this build quality. How's that? It's got a flash around the knob. Look at that. It's sharp, so you can actually cut your fingers on it if you're not careful. That's a bit poor. Anyway, 2 spares. I don't need to buy any more now. That's great. There's some more suction cup things. These are different, because these aren't the only dash cams I've got to fix. So I've got this one over here, similar sort of thing, it gets pulled in. So this also needs fixing. I don't know if one of these other ones will work. They might actually. They might be able to adapt and work. The cups look very similar actually. I might even be able to modify one of these ones or feather it in there to say this one's broken as well. It's got the same kind of construction. Maybe I can do it that way. But I also got these ones thinking maybe these will be good for that. Alright, let's get this lever here. So suction cup, obviously meant for like moving bits of glass or whatever, or something like that. But yep. Now I did actually get some of these sorts of things years ago. I can find the damn things. I don't know where they are. I thought they were in my garage, but I can't find them. Post which pulls up when you lever it. It pulls it up, pulls the centre of suction cup in. Really simple design. They were cheap. I was keeping my options open about what I could use to repair this one. But I'm thinking one of these might actually do it. Might have to forgo one of the spares. Now if you can guess what's in here, put it down in the comments below. It's like impenetrable plastic. Cut through it. Use a real knife. Keyboard and mouse. This is the same as one I've already got before, which I just purchased to use on my oscilloscope. Yes, I use the keyboard and mouse on the oscilloscope. Mostly the mouse actually. I don't use the keyboard very often, it's mostly the mouse I use. That worked so well that I decided to buy another one. And it's basically just got one of these little adapters here. You plug that into your device and then you flip this onto the appropriate connection here, like this one's on 2.4G, which is what this thing is, and then it's also got Bluetooth as well, so you can actually do it either way. These will need charging up, so then you can use the pair on one device with one USB port. So that's probably what I'm going to end up using for that Raspberry Pi. It's got just a simple switch on back here as well. This does have power, it's good. So this is exactly the same as what I've already got, and I showed that previously in Mailbag, I don't know, a year or 2 ago now probably. It's got a little USB micro charging port. Keyboard and mouse, relatively cheap considering it's a wireless keyboard with a number keyboard. This bit is especially useful. I find number keyboards essential. I can't do without a number keyboard. If I have a keyboard, I have to have a number keyboard, because I use that section a lot, especially when I'm doing coding and stuff like that. Sometimes you put variable numbers in and things like that. I just find it much easier to go to this than it is to try and use the top keys. But that's just me. I mean, if you're not used to having one of those, you'd be fine with that. But for me, having this is essential. Well, it's completely covered in tape. Let's see if we can get the RAM knife through it. Yeah, we can. Clearly. Micro SD card. Oh right, okay, no, these aren't review items, these are things I purchased. So this is another dash cam. It's got a polarising lens and a 128 gig SD card. These things seem to have some quite good reviews as far as optical quality, things like that. Trying to get decent dash cams can be a real pain. Like sometimes they fail, like the suction cups. That's the big issue. Probably my bigger failure points is the suction cups failing, or the internal batteries dying, or just the video quality is not very good enough. So I decided to get one of these. I saw a review. Yeah, I saw someone doing some reviews. I can't remember who that was now. They did side-by-side reviews across several dash cams. Was it Project Farm? I think it was him who did it. There it is. It's got adjustable camera angle. Small screen, that's fine. You don't really need to look at it until you know, once you set it up, you don't have to look at it anymore. And it sticks to the windscreen. So you got a USB mini and some basic controls. The video I saw showing the reviews across different cameras made this one look like it is actually quite good optical quality. What's behind here? Like the night vision, that kind of thing. Oh, seriously. Some window protectors. Guess you put those in front of it. Maybe it's like a waterwood pin. I don't know what's that for. Anyway, got a mounting bracket of some kind. Double mounting brackets. Some cables. Some cable clips. Another cable there. Yeah, okay. So it's lots of bits in there. I might have to look at this later on to figure out what's exactly in there and why. Oh, I'm doing really badly with this. That's supposed to go in there. Then it goes in there. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Anyway. Also, it's got this polarising filter as well, which means you can cut out some of the glare, which is great for night shots. I tend to get a lot of circular glare and stuff like that. Polarisation can help with that quite a lot. That's a project for later. Okay, this is a review item. So this is from FNIRSI. They sent me this thing. It's the 2C53T dual channel 50 MHz oscilloscope multimeter. They asked me if I was interested in looking at something. Again, obviously I've done some previous reviews of FNIRSI. They said, hey, do you want to look at something else? And they suggested this, and I went, yeah, sure, I'll have a look at that. And we'll put it through its paces. I'll do a proper review video on this, so watch out for that. So 4.5 digit 20,000 count RMS. So it's got a signal generator as well, signal outputs. Anti-burning, I guess that means the screen type. And it's supposed to be 50 MHz bandwidth. We'll definitely be testing that. So I don't know how good this is yet. We'll find out. We'll put it through its paces. We'll check out all the multimeter stuff, check its accuracy. Although a lot of modern multimeters these days are actually getting quite good. I've been testing lots of multimeters. I've done lots of reviews on multimeters and put them on against my calibrator, and the accuracy has always been very good. I've always been very happy with them. You know, especially for hobbyist use, the accuracy is usually plenty, even though it's not perfect. Anyway, we'll put this on my calibrators and my references and things like that, and we'll see how this comes out on the multimeter functions. Then we'll check out the oscilloscope functions, check its actual bandwidth out based on analog bandwidth. I've also got my pulsar as well, the Bodner pulsar, which I can use to do some theoretical bandwidth checks. That'll be in the near future. In fact, it may even be now. Yeah, because I'm so far ahead with Mailbag videos, I'm like a month ahead. So there's a really good chance by the time you see this video, I've already published a review video for this. Look at the links down below. If I already have published a review video, they'll be linked down below in the description there to go and look at that. Subscribe over there, about there somewhere. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe over there. Some other videos to watch down there, and there's a Patreon support link over there if you want to help support my channel, helping to buy things from Mailbag or pieces of test equipment effects like this thing that's sitting over here. This has been sitting here for weeks now. I haven't had the time to work on it. But things like this is what I want to buy and what I want to actually work on, do videos about. I just get so damn busy sometimes. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so. Good stuff.